Hey guys, this is Tagene from Money Coaching Services, and today we are going to talk about how to become a millionaire in 5 years. Yes, so a lot of persons, they think that becoming a millionaire is something hard, something difficult. So we're going to break down the process for you to make things clear, right? So what we're going to do is give you a couple of steps. So I make all the bullet points, to keep me on track. Because sometimes when I talk, I kind of stray a little bit. Yes, so number one, you're going to calculate your net worth. You need a net worth calculator to tell you where you are, to measure what your current wealth is. So I'm going to share my screen, and then we can have a better conversation on that. All right. So here is a net worth calculator. My voice is going, sorry. So the net worth calculator, what is a net worth? A net worth is the calculation that tells you how wealthy you are, right? So what it does, it totals your assets, which are the things that you own, the value of the things that you own, subtract the value of the things that you owe, like your loans and your credit cards. And what is left is known as your net worth. So your net worth is what is used in the financial industry to calculate your wealth. So I'm saying to you guys that the easiest process of you to try to become a millionaire is actually to learn how to calculate your wealth and be able to track what it is that you currently have, because you have to know where is your starting point. Where are you starting from? Because everybody is not starting from the same place. So first, you use the net worth calculator to find out where you are, right? So I'm going to run some quick numbers, right? Show you how the calculator works. I'm going to also put the link in the description so that you can use it and calculate your own net worth. All right, so this part now, we are going to calculate the assets first. So first, we're going to go to assets. Cash is the asset column. Now, some figures were in the calculator before. Let me just take those out. And then we're going to start putting in our own figures. All right, let's go from the top. So we're doing the asset side first. So cash, how much you have in a checking account? Those who don't have any checking account, so it would be 0. So next, you go to saving. You probably have 200,000 saving. If you have 0, then you put 0, right? Go down to other assets. You might have other types of cash instruments, like you have a term deposit. So you might have a term deposit, or some people call it a CD. So they give you the option, this calculator gives you the option to put in what you have that is additional that they have not put in. And you have like 300,000 on the CD. All right, 300,000 on the CD. All right, now we're going to investments. Now, because I'm using one of those American calculators, some of these terms you might not know. So just click on the circle with the I in it, and it just explains. So this is registered retirement savings plan. So if you have a retirement savings plan, then you can put the figure there. But now for me, I would leave out the retirement savings plan. I don't put it in there. I put the things in there that it is easy for you to manipulate, right? So I'm gonna leave all that. I'm only gonna put for the investment, I'm only gonna put things that you have some level of control over. Like you have bonds. If you have bonds, 500,000. If you buy any stocks, what's the current value of the stocks? For those who don't know, stocks means you are a shareholder in a company. You've bought some of their shares in their company, and this is the value of the shares that you have in the company. All right. So you might have probably 200,000. You don't really need a calculator like this, All you need to know is what comes on the assets, and then you just add up all the assets value. So your house value 7 million. You probably have a vehicle that values 700,000. Right, so you get the idea. So you use the calculator. You're gonna subtract your liabilities, credit card. You have 100,000 credit card. You have another credit card. Some people have a lot of credit cards. People, if you're not using a credit card to create some form of wealth, and you are not good with managing paying off every month, then get rid of the credit card. It's a waste of time, and it does not help you with your wealth. So once you're not leveraging the credit card to make money, just get rid of it if you're not good with it, the spending. All right. Because most of the problem people have with wealth is credit card is eating away their money. All right, how much you have on the mortgage for the house? So the value is 7 million. I put up the top for the house. We're gonna say you paid it off a little, so you probably have 6 million left to go. All right, do you have any personal loans? Or you buy some furniture at court? Do you have any student loans that you have to pay? Those of you who borrowed money to go back to school, probably 200,000. And probably you're gonna pay off the car loan. You have probably 150 left on it. Line of credit. What is a line of credit? A line of credit is credit that is given to you. It can come in the form of a card. What I mean by that, the funds is put on a card so that you have access to it where you can swipe like a credit card, but it's not a credit card. The interest rate on the line of credit is normally much cheaper than a credit card. It is sometimes like about half the interest rate or less than half the interest rate of a credit card. So different banks and institutions use lines of credit. In order to know more about the lines of credit, then it's best that you call your bank and ask them if they have any lines of credit and to explain to you how theirs work. All right. So in this case, you might not have any lines of credit. So here we go now. So we have put in the assets, we put in the liability. This is saying that your total net worth is 1,750,000. If you don't have a net worth calculator, as I said before, you don't need to use this calculator. All you need to know is what comes under assets, and you total the value of those items. What comes under liabilities that you have, you total the liabilities, and then you subtract. So that's all this is doing. All right, so this is the first step. The first step is you knowing how much wealth you currently have. Sometimes you do this calculation and some of you will get minus figure for your net worth. What that means, your liabilities is more than your assets. So for you, it's gonna be, you need to get back in the positive to start creating wealth. All right, so I can stop sharing that. All right, good. So then number 2 now is doing a budget. So now that you know how much wealth you have or don't have, then you do the budget. The budget now is to zoom in on your income and your expenses. You want to, for your expenses, to reduce your expenses as much as possible. Pay off any loans that you can pay off, because this is how you're gonna widen the gap of increasing your wealth. All right, so you do the budget, look at your income, look at your expenses, and just trim the fat. All right, so with the number 3 thing is make a list of assets. Make a list of assets that you either have or you have the intention of getting, and you're gonna actively, over the next 5 years, try to increase those assets, right? So say for example, you don't have a house, you're planning to buy a house, you buy the house. The house is an asset. The market value side of the house is the asset. The mortgage side of the house is the liability. Now, in order to increase the value of the asset, any liability against the asset, you have to pay it down. So once you pay it down or increase how fast you pay it down, then automatically your wealth increase. No brainer, people. Yeah. So real estate is a good avenue for you to try to increase your wealth. Another area for increasing your wealth is purchasing foreign currency so that you can get or benefit from the devaluation of the Jamaican dollar. So that is also an asset. So you will be increasing how much cash or liquidity you have, and this is an asset. Now, while you're increasing the assets, you also, for number 4, you're going to reduce the debt, reduce the liability. So you pay down high interest credit cards, reduce all the unnecessary spending. What you can do for the spending part, I know persons, you have certain things that you like to do that make you feel comfortable. What you can do is just put in the budget something assigned to certain things that you like to do. So don't cut out everything, because if you cut out everything, you're gonna feel stressed, you're going to feel strained, and you're just not going to keep on track. We wanted to keep on track with doing the recommendations, because if you don't stay on track, you will not create the wealth in the 5 years. Yeah. So how to reduce the expenses? You can pause some expenses. You can reduce the frequency of some expenses, and you can cut out some expenses. Pausing on the expense means you determine how long you're going to not pay that expense. So the expense has to be something that is under your full control, not like loans or credit cards or so on. Those, pay those. But any expense that comes under a want category where you have decided that this is an expense that you are paying towards because you have an interest in this area. So what you can do, instead of you spending, say, 20,000 per month on this expense, you can pause the expense depending on what it is. You can pause it for 3 months, 6 months, depending on you. You can pause it, and like every 3 months, you pause the expense and you use it again for the next 3 months, and you pause again, then you go again. So there is no fixed way that you have to do it. Money is flexible. People, money is flexible. So you have to learn how to think about using your money in a flexible way, right? Money goes where you send it. So you can pause and stop any amount of time you want, just to create the end goal that you are working towards. You can cut out an expense. You review an expense and you realize, okay, you don't use that expense anymore. You used to use it because you used to go certain places, you used to do certain things, and you're no longer doing it anymore. So now it's not really benefiting you to have it. So you can cut out those. Now, the frequency expenses now, reducing the frequency is that you would still use the expense, but how often you use it is gonna change. So if you used to use that expense like every week, you spend towards that expense, then you probably change that to every 2 weeks or every month. And you get additional money to go to your assets, increasing your cash, or you buy foreign currency, US dollars, Canadian GBP, yeah, and you increase your wealth. All right, so number 5. 5 is go back to school, learn something. So learning more gives you the ability to earn more, and that will increase your ability to exponentially increase your wealth within the 5-year period that we are working towards. So this is how you have a structured way how to increase your wealth. And I've given you a 5-year time horizon because in 5 years, all of this is possible. I didn't give you 3 years because 3 years for some people might be very stressful, because some people are in debt where they are currently struggling. For those people, they would not be able to become a millionaire in 3 years. So 5 years is a good time horizon. Some people will actually get there before the 5 years. So as it comes to number 5, this going back to school and learning, learn things that help you to earn more. So you can actually, if you work for an organization, you go to HR and you say, HR, what how much does the organization pay persons who have this skill, who learn this? So you get some guidance as to what to study and what to expect as the earning power. Persons who have businesses, you also need to research the market to see if there is additional services you could add to your business, but you first need to go and get the skill and learn how to do that particular thing to be able to earn more for your business and for yourself to create more wealth. So that is it for us today. Tell us in the comments if you like the suggestion. If you have any other suggestions, put them in the comments, because this is all about learning and earning. Yeah. So that's what we're all about. Learning and earning. All right, guys. So bye. See you for another video. If you have a time, watch another video. All right. So bye-bye.